When the Pixel 7 launched, I switched from the iPhone 12 to Pixel 7 Pro. It was a big jump because I had spent 15 years with the iPhone ecosystem since '07. For me, I made the switch because I just started a new job at Google, specifically with Google Play, and it was my job to be familiar with Android. But I hadn't tried Android out in years. My last memory was a slow and confusing UI. So, with my renewed enthusiasm for Google, I decided to take the plunge and make the Google Pixel phone my primary phone and document my experience. Broadly, I had a great experience. When it comes to the camera and display functionality, the Pixel 7 Pro is very comparable to the iPhone 14 Pro Max. The display and cameras of both phones are solid. Both have advanced video stabilization and video background blur features and curved displays. Where they differ: processor. The Pixel 7 has a processor more focused on machine learning and more integrated into its Android operating system, which enables some fancy camera and photo editing technology in the form of Magic Eraser, Face Unblur, and Photo Unblur. These three are unique to Pixel, with Face Unblur being more frequently used because it happens automatically when taking photos, and I can see a badge on which photos it was applied on, whereas Magic Eraser and Photo Unblur are less frequent in use but quite more delightful when you actually use them. Here I removed the annoying wires around the Google logo, and here I took some photos and unblurred them after the fact, even on super old photos before the digital age. Lens. I'd argue the Pixel camera lens is better. The telephoto lens is stronger with optical zoom of 5x versus iPhone's 3x. The image quality for the selfie camera is better on the Pixel 7. The iPhone looks a little bit more realistic, but the Pixel handles the background brightness better and makes the colors on my shirt, my face, the white background wall look better as well. So it does kind of apply some kind of filter feel, whereas the iPhone might be a little bit more real or authentic. So just different approach. And the same up goes for video. So here's a video still. The iPhone looks more realistic but does expose imperfection in one's face, whereas Pixel seems to apply a filter, less authentic but a little bit smoother. So just trade-offs in each of the approaches. And here is a Pixel photo I was very impressed by. A selfie camera shot straight into the sun. It turned out very good. Other hardware differences. Memory. The amount of RAM is double for the Pixel at 12 gigabytes versus 6 gigabytes for iPhone. In fact, Apple is so embarrassed by its memory it doesn't even show it on its website. The Pixel offers a fingerprint sensor built into the middle of the screen, which makes it more convenient, especially with COVID masks on. If you're in the dark, you're better off using a fingerprint sensor sometimes. Software. We're talking about the ecosystem differences across operating system, physical device, and apps. So namely the Android and Google ecosystem versus the iPhone and Apple ecosystem. With the Android and Google ecosystem, let's first look at the operating system side. The Android system is much faster than I last remember, especially with premium phones that are fast like Samsung and Pixel. Navigation is also much better, especially since Pixel took its own approach to the UI, deviated from what I remember to be Samsung's confusing 3 bottom navigation buttons you had to press, to one in which there are no navigation buttons to press, instead relying on swiping gestures like the iPhone. Just swipe from the bottom, for example. No need to stare at 3 navigation buttons all the time. Then there are operating system unique features with the Pixel. There's Google Assistant with the phone where you can screen calls and transcribe answering machines to a visual display where you can read and press an option. There's battery saver, data saver, easier way to do screenshots, better and more robust notification management, and also the ability to schedule text messages. Moving on to apps and device ecosystems. This is the level where convenience benefits really kick in. With apps, Google has its collection of apps, Search, YouTube, Gmail, Photos, and logging in between them with one shared account is easier, and sharing cloud storage space across all of them is also more convenient. With devices, this is where the Google ecosystem is weaker but growing. Google has the Pixel Buds Pro, the Pixel Watch, which was strengthened through a Fitbit acquisition, and the upcoming Pixel tablet. Plus, there are non-Pixel devices like the Chromebook, which is an affordable laptop, Android TV, Android Auto for your car, and smart home devices, including Google Nest. Apple's ecosystem is stronger. It has an established and dominant laptop, dominant mobile phone, and a highly competitive AirPods and an Apple Watch. But if you don't have these extra devices in the Apple ecosystem, the Pixel 7's price point is going to be really attractive to you. The Pixel is $350 cheaper at $750 versus $1,100 for the Apple iPhone. That's more than a 30% discount. It's priced this way to help get its name out, build trust and credibility. You get a ton of value for the price, and probably the lower price point will appeal to the traditional Android user base, and the lower price point can gradually start appealing to some iPhone users who are price sensitive, especially now during the recession and layoff in the news, and could be worth it even if there are large switching costs. And one last benefit is related to the compatibility of its power cord accessories ecosystem. With power cord, I did find that the iPhone, I used to use that lightning bolt everywhere, and now I just use the USB-C for the Pixel, which is really good because it not only powers my phone, but also powers my MacBook Pro laptop. That has been great. I do not really miss the iPhone Lightning charger. I'm very happy with the USB-C charger. Let's continue diving deeper into what I felt were the cons. There's no FaceTime, no location sharing, weird UI on the recipient iPhone side when texting between Android phones and iPhones, less battery life, no AirDrop, less conveniently placed power and volume buttons, and slightly less convenient weather and stocks apps. Now, with no FaceTime, what I mean by that is that there's no ability to turn on video while you're in the middle of an audio phone call. You can start the call on video, but you can't start on audio, then switch to video. You'd have to hang up and restart the call. No location sharing. Android Messages uses the modern RCS standard, where it upgraded from the archaic SMS standard starting in 2019. So it does have the most frequently used modern features, like high-resolution images and videos, read receipts, typing indicators, and emoji reactions, but just doesn't have the advanced ones like location sharing. If you're looking for those other advanced chat features, you have to go to these other apps like WhatsApp or Messenger. Weird UI when texting between iPhone and Android. This is a continuation of the differences in technologies between iMessage and Android messages. Android to Android experiences look great, but when you're communicating across technologies, like between Android and iPhone, you'll start noticing some differences. iPhone users texting Android users will see their own text sent as green bubbles versus the blue bubbles they'll see when they text someone else within the iPhone ecosystem. This is how iPhone treats messages that are foreign to its native format. iPhone users getting emoji responses will see a completely separate text message elaborating on the emoji, which obviously isn't as great as the built-in emoji tagged on top of the original message. Android users, though, get a good user experience because Android did the work of accommodating iPhone's different format, but iPhone has yet to reciprocate. So there's an ongoing campaign called #GetTheMessage, which is around raising awareness that iPhone is the selfish one here, not willing to improve the user experience across platforms. Less battery life. While Pixel's raw battery hardware has bigger capacity, its battery usage is less efficient than iPhone and just doesn't last as long. No AirDrop. Android does of course have Nearby Share, which is its equivalent for sharing between Android devices, but sharing across ecosystems is the crux of the issue. The workaround with Photos is to just upload to Google Photos in the cloud and then download it locally to your MacBook. Or if you're on a Windows desktop, you can use the Phone Link app, which is convenient. Less conveniently placed device buttons for power and volume. My complaint here is that any buttons in the middle side of the device, or lower, are inaccessible to my thumb, which can only conveniently access buttons toward the top of the device. Plus, putting power and volume buttons on the same side next to each other can be confusing. There have been plenty of times I accidentally turned off the screen when I merely meant to increase the volume. Less convenient weather app. There's an additional tab to get weather for the rest of the day, and for stocks, there's no at-a-glance view of market caps. So those were all the trade-offs that mattered to me. I'll go in more details in other videos where I'll cover my experience switching, screen recordings of the UI and some features, my buying tips, and possibly more. Hope that was helpful. Subscribe and follow to get more insights from me, Peter Yu.